All right, let's dive right in. Today we're talking about something called a purposeful kingdom marriage. And if you're single and you feel like you're just stuck kind of in a holding pattern, waiting for that next chapter to start, then you are in exactly the right place.
I mean, does this feel familiar? That feeling of just waiting. You're in the waiting room of life and you're wondering, okay, when is my number going to be called? It's frustrating, and that feeling is totally valid. But what if this whole waiting period isn't really about waiting at all?
So, just to make sure we're all on the same page here, what is a kingdom marriage? Well, according to the source material, it's not just about finding someone you love. It's a partnership that's believed to be ordained by God for a specific divine purpose. It's really about having a shared mission, not just a shared life. So, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to talk about what that purposeful partnership looks like. Then we'll get into the three big things that might be blocking you: holding on, having the wrong list, and what's called the unattended garden. And we'll wrap it all up with a huge mindset shift, moving from just waiting to actively preparing. Here's the key idea we need to grab onto. Moving from that standstill feeling to actual growth, well, that requires looking inward. See, the barriers we're facing are often internal patterns. And honestly, that's good news, because it means we actually have the power to do something about them.
Okay, so let's tackle block number 1, holding on. This is all about the emotional and spiritual space in your life being taken up by something or someone that isn't meant for you. The source calls them counterfeits. This could be that ex you can't quite let go of, or maybe one of those situationships that's just draining all your energy but not going anywhere.
And this quote, this really hits home, doesn't it? It puts a number on it. Think about that. If even 30% or heck, even 10% of your heart is occupied by someone from your past, how can you possibly be 100% available for your future? It just shows how we can be emotionally unavailable without even realizing it.
So what's the fix? It's called the clean break, and it's a really clear two-step process. First, you have to set firm boundaries. That might even mean going full no contact with those draining connections. And second, when you do that, you create a vacuum. And I know that sounds scary, but it's actually an intentional space for God to come in and fill it with something so much better. You have to clear out what isn't for you to make room for what is.
Okay, so once you've made that space, the next challenge is making sure you're actually looking for the right thing to fill it. And that brings us to block number 2, the wrong list. This is what happens when we get so focused on a superficial checklist, the package, that we end up missing the whole point, the purpose. And this breaks it down perfectly. On the left, you've got the package, what they have, a certain physical type, a certain tax bracket, social status. But on the right, you've got the purpose, who they are, their character, their spiritual depth, their commitment to a shared purpose. The big red flag for this block is when you find yourself dismissing genuinely good people just because they don't check off the boxes on that superficial list. The fix here is to basically tear up that old list. It's about a total reevaluation. Instead of a list of traits, you replace it with one single powerful question: does this person's presence in my life make me more like Christ? That one question changes everything. It shifts your focus from the shallow to the eternal.
All right, so you've made a clean break, you've rewritten your list. The final block requires us to look even deeper inside ourselves. We're calling this one the untended garden. It's this beautiful metaphor rooted in the idea that Adam was already working and tending his garden before Eve showed up. The point is, sometimes the block is simply that we've got some work to do in our own garden first. And the signs of an untended garden, well, they're things that can quietly sabotage even the best connections. We're talking about deep insecurity, or maybe a need to control everything. Or, and this is a big one, that subtle expectation that a spouse is going to come and save you from your own unhappiness or heal your past trauma. And that's just a weight that no other person was ever meant to carry.
So what do we do about it? The fix is active preparation. And I just love this line from the source material: become the person you are looking for is looking for. Think about that. It's about using this season for growth, for therapy, for spiritual work, for real self-reflection. It's about becoming whole on your own so you can join with someone else from a place of strength, not need.
And all of this, it leads us to our final and maybe most important section. It ties everything we've talked about together. It's about a huge mindset shift from passively waiting to actively preparing.
This table just lays it out so clearly, right? On one side, you have stagnant waiting. It's obsessed with when is it going to happen. It romanticizes the wedding day, but not the marriage. It often leads to isolating yourself and complaining. It's operating from a place of lack. But look at the other side. Kingdom preparation. This focuses on who am I becoming? It respects the long-term covenant. It pushes you to grow in community and serve others. It operates out of a sense of wholeness. It's a completely different energy.
So, after all of this, it really just boils down to one crucial question you have to ask yourself, honestly. Are you just waiting for something to happen to you, or are you actively preparing for the purpose you feel called to step into?
And one last thing to keep in mind. This journey is so personal. If any of this resonated with you today and you feel a little stuck, it's always a good idea to talk with a trusted mentor or even a professional counselor. They can offer guidance that's really tailored for you and your story. Thank you so much for joining me.